Good day, mate. Today I'm going to discuss a game I just played against rg2017. I've been losing and winning and making a lot of blunders a lot of times during my race towards the better rating, but that's, I suppose, what happens when you are not actually playing on the desk, or touching the pieces and everything. It's just a laptop, sorry, it's just a mobile phone that I'm using to play this. So as you can see, this is the summary. I suppose I made a lot of inaccuracies, mistakes and blunders as well, but it's actually fantastic to have a look at this. So the theme that I want to bring in this discussion is on how to do a counter attack, or use the attack and defense at the same time, or that sort of thing, and having a look at the whole board to be able to sort of achieve your goal, which is trying to checkmate your opponent and avoid your king to be checkmated. So let's just have a look. I was white here, and then RG 2017 was black, and of course, as usual, bird opening f4, knight goes to c6, knight f3, b6, trying to fianchet to the bishop, and I'll go on with the plan, which is e3, bishop e7, bishop e2, e6, castle, bishop d6, c4, queen e7, and I believe the idea is trying to castle queenside here, which I believe is quite premature. And as far as I know, if a person is playing with this sort of configuration, they will have a closed king behind the pieces, and what do I have to do is I have to use my queen side pawns and pieces to make the wall break. So I have to put my king in safety, which already is quite safe, but it could be harassed by a lot of pieces, but at least it's already castled and everything. And then the idea is actually to put all these pieces together and then attack from the queen side. That's usually what happened in the game, or from the king side as well, but it's highly unlikely because the king side is actually being harassed by the bishop, and also they will bring some rooks as well later. So there you go, it's a queenside castle. So every time you see this kind of thing, kingside castle versus a queenside castle, you can expect a bloody battle where everybody is actually going to attack, and it's gonna be like a counter-attack game, and that's what I actually like so much, because there will be a race in which one can defend and attack at the same time better. And if you can checkmate your opponent first, it's gonna be fantastic, while still having your king safe and sound, keeping it safe and sound. So queenside castling. Now queen to a4. The idea of queen to a4 is actually to provoke black worry or something like that. It's actually an annoying move. It's nothing. It's actually not doing anything. It's just a move that I do to make the pawn structure of black a bit disturbed. You get what I mean? So it's just what should I say about this? It's just a move that psychologically will intimidate your opponent. That's all. But it's actually harmless, because, for example, this pawn is still guarded by this knight. Pawn at a7, so it's actually pretty safe. But what happened here was, it's good. Black usually for beginner player, they will sort of get panic, but RG 2017 is actually a very good player. He's launching the pawn forward with h5 there, so it's just focusing on attacking on the king side, which is fantastic, I suppose. I bring my knight to b5 there, just to make make black a bit more scared. And I believe the best move here is a6, and a6 was done, or maybe even, I'm not sure, maybe king goes to b8, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, a6 was moved, and knight goes to c3. That's also another provoking move. So I'm just saying hi, and then destroy the pawn structure and then go back. That's actually what I'm gonna do most of the time for this kind of player, because they will have some psychological insecurity behind their mind, and then I just sort of try to utilize it, and then um, and later on, actually, as a matter of fact, the A column, sorry, the A file will be uh, will be used to attack the black king. Okay, so h4 uh, was moved by black, is actually being launched for it, and I just stopped this because it's dangerous. I just don't want to have the queen to join the attack and everything, something like that. It's very annoying, so I just stop it with h3. Now rook goes to h5 here. Now I don't want the rook to go to the square a5, for example, harassing my queen and something like that. So I just want to keep my queen safe. So move queen back to b3, which is a mistake, but it's actually it's not too bad, I suppose. Just trying to hide, I suppose. So g5 was moved here, um, and I just took it with my pawn. I have no problem with that. So f takes g5, and later on it's gonna be a good pawn advantage for me. So knight goes to a5. It's attacking the queen, and I just hide because I believe it's time to sort of support the defense first, and then at the same time advancing the pawn forward, which is a hyper modern style of attack to wreck black's defense. So bishop takes f3, which is the knight there, and I just simply take f3, bishop there, so it's actually an exchange. And rook takes g5. So I'm not sure how many pawns I have here, but 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, yeah, it's the same, but according to the engine, white is actually better positionally, because it's got a good defense, and also it might have a good attack as well. So rook takes g5. Oh, hang on, what happens? Bishop h5, that's what I do, just to sort of attack the pawn at f7, and then knight goes to f6. It's actually a good move. It's trying to attack the bishop there, and I just hide. Okay, bishop goes to f3. He's trying to hide, provoking some moves, letting black to move all the line of defense forward, and then after it's weak, I'm going to attack black. Rook from the file goes to g8, which is trying to, of course, battery the rook and doubling up, and trying to attack g2 pawn here. And of course it's dangerous, but I think I got it covered with the bishop so far. If the queen joins, then I have to move my other pieces, such as my queen, to the second rank to support protecting the g pawn, at the same time as eyeing probably some of black king's defense. Knight goes to e4 there. um, the idea is actually to exchange the knight because it's annoying, and of course attacking the forking the rook and knight at the same time. So if black is lazy, black has to take, so black took it, and I took it using my bishop. f5, at the moment it's actually advantage to black. Not sure why, but hang on, I thought I was winning. rule because bishop h5 move that is actually considered bad. So pawn goes there, and then I just simply move back to f3. Bishop goes to g3 there, which is pretty weird, I think, because it's not actually bishop is actually not going to be the piece that attack the king directly, and it will not sort of hinder me so much. So I know it's trying to make an outpost there, but it's pretty okay for me. I can still move when I still have my bishop there, so it's actually not really serious in my opinion. And also at the same time, it's blocking the path of I just know the path of the rook at g5 and g8 at g file. It's actually um, not supporting the attack. So next move I do is just d3, just to simply protect the pawn at c4, and then f4 was moved. I don't think f4 is a good move because I'm winning a pawn by taking it. Simple as that. It's an unprized. It's free. And then rook at 5 goes to g7. So because the pawn is actually attacking the rook just go back. I suppose I want to continue with my attack. I will just move my pawn to a3 with the idea of actually kicking the knight back. So after a3 my plan is b4, and then I hope the knight will go back to some square behind, as indicated in the diagram, for example. And then I can sort of march my pawn forward and destroy black's structure. Ooh, what's that? Okay, alright, what's going on? Are we okay? Hello? I think there is just some weirdness that I just experienced. Just hang on a second. Okay, so queen goes to c5 check was moved by black, and I just simply move my king to h1. It's not threatening at all. It's just a check. And then queen goes to d4, and I guess I get the idea. It's actually trying to, in case I open my pawn to b4, the idea is actually to take my but of course I won't let this happen. So what I did was actually I move queen goes to e2, and the engine says it's wrong, but I'm not really worried about that, because if, for example, knight goes to b3, then I simply will probably move my rook maybe to b1, and it's actually pretty safe. Or even, attacking the queen first by moving the bishop to e3. So that didn't happen actually. Instead, what happened was, after I moved my queen to e2, knight goes to c6 there, and my thing's it's a bit timid. I know it doesn't want me to move pawn forward and everything like that, but I just move a4, simple as a4, and a4 is actually pretty strong in my opinion because it's going to march forward and it's gonna be okay for me. So after this, rook goes to f8. Aneh. Okay. And then the idea of rook goes to f8 is unclear in my opinion. It is just delaying the. It's actually weakening the battery power of the rook at g2, attacking g2. So it's actually weakening the attack. Probably just trying to find a way to go on this spread probably. So bishop goes to e3 now. It's a mistake there, but at least it's attacking. So rook goes to f6 there, and a5. Now bishop takes f4. Now a takes b6 first, which is a blunder. But then c takes b6 was done. And rook takes a6 was done as well. So it's blunders all the way. Queen goes to g5. So all bad moves. Bishop goes to take b6 is another blunder. And then queen g3. And of course there is a threat of mate in one in the square h2. So I just move my my bishop back to g1. So in case there is this move, that won't happen because I'm gonna take it. Okay, so it didn't happen. So here rook at g goes to g8. I'm not really sure about the idea. It's probably trying to sort of protect and this kind of scenario when I took this one, and then there's, in case, you know, or maybe it wants to protect. I get it. Yes, it wants to protect this scenario where hang on, where my making a check, and when the king moves, then there will be a trade of rook. That's the whole idea of moving the rook backwards, but that's not what I'm going to do basically. So that is pretty stuck in my opinion. It's trying to attack, but I have a quite good defense there, and it's pretty hard to sort of, you know, penetrate into the attack. Now what I'm going to do is actually instead bishop takes c6, and I'm not afraid if something like this happen, because I have this rook takes e6, and it's actually a mate in 5 moves already. So actually black shouldn't have done this, should have just let it like that, because that's the only defense black has. So it's not good to do this, but of course naturally after someone takes, the player will take back, because it should be an exchange in pieces, otherwise it's gonna be a loss in material. And then queen takes, it's actually a checkmate in 5 move, but what happened is actually queen, king moved there, so simply I just move my bishop to b6 check, and then after so this is almost a checkmate, but black's king cannot move, it has to covers with the bishop there, but I move my rook there, and it's actually a checkmate because, well, the bishop is pinned and it cannot move anywhere anyway. So, and there is a longer version of this in case there is the check here and then the king move the other way, and I'm gonna sacrifice my rook, king will take it. I'm gonna sacrifice, I'm gonna check the king will move there, sacrifice my bishop, of course the king has to take it, and then check the king, and this is a more beautiful checkmate, so that can happen as well. So I suppose the moral of the story is, even though you're attacking your opponent. Do not forget that behind you there is your king, and do not leave him alone. And I suppose it's sort of grab the concept of hyper modern chess, which is a long range attack with the pawn in front and minor pieces in front and then major pieces behind, because for example the major pieces has such a long range and it can sort of cover a lot with the range, so it's pretty okay. um, and yeah, I suppose that sort of basic ability of moving, for example, of queen and rook and bishops is actually can be used. The long range idea can be used to your advantage if you actually understand about it. It's actually fantastic now. So this is what happened. It's a beautiful game. rg2017 play very well, and I enjoy this game, and I suppose I can learn the lesson is actually to to do counterattack and to defend at the same time whenever possible. It's a fantastic game. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.